Welcome to Day 2 of our coverage of Shady Part of Me. This is a game that does throw you immediately into your one and only save file. So, here we are at the beginning of Act 3, where we left off in the previous session. It looks like narratively we're at about the halfway point, although collectibles-wise we may be closer to the end than I might assume. Just for the sake of starting this off on the right foot, I might as well just show you the title card for Act 3 and the sort of introductory piece of dialogue that leads to this screen. Fairly simple to go about that. As you can see, so far our progress has been very nearly complete. Just on the first pass, missing a few collectibles along the way, and here we are in this chapter.
It was probably my fault everything broke in the first place. And now it's your fault that we're lost.
My own fault. They were mean. They keep ordering us around and it's my fault.
Not really.
Okay, let's proceed. So yeah, we just got off the boat in another nautical sequence. Just getting back in order with controls again. X button swaps between the 2D and the 3D space. Y button operates, switches, boxes, etc.
Things were just off balance.
So, I can't enter the light. Let's see what this switch will activate. And welcome back, Bang. That's what we mean when things are off balance. However, notice that the gravitational effect remains in place. Now that's interesting. Okay, so you can actually swap the shadow's orientation on the platforms by flipping these switches around. That's an exciting new development, mechanically speaking. So, let's see if that's going to get me anything interesting. Now, notice that it might be very tempting to use left and right to be oriented towards the character, but that's not how this works. Up still points to character up, down brings the character down. And so it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, I think, but we will deal with it. I feel like I probably missed something already, in fact. Let's rewind here, because I think that if we have the choice to raise the platform from the other side instead, maybe I can fall a bit differently. No, maybe not. Just trying to assess this quickly. See if I could have done this any other way, in terms of maybe getting on top of the other side of this platform and falling in the other direction, but I don't believe that's possible. Looking at this carefully again, so let's just fall in and continue.
They were here for us.
They hurt me. Are you on their side?
You have to understand. They were our guides and you drove them away.
So what?
Yeah, so far I think the story is just about refusing psychiatric treatment as a 3D character who refuses to be in the light, or as the 2D shadow who is trying to escape this whole thing. Now, I did see something back here as we were coming in. I don't know if we're going to be able to access that location just yet, or if we need to wrap around a little bit first, but I thought I did see a collectible. So, let's proceed. And let's figure out what this switch is going to activate. Looks like I've been blocked off from this side, but also that I'm able to run around this way. Now, once again with controls, the left and right is not oriented around a character. You do have to push up at this point when you're going over the curve, and then you hold right to go right, like that. So, that's something we will have to keep in mind as I figure out how this switch is going to operate. Okay, I think the idea here is that I want to fall into one of these platforms and possibly get pushed up. Actually, no, I know how to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to go back here. I'm going to orient myself on the right side of this platform. I'm going to lift myself in the other direction, fall in, and jump. So yeah. Maybe not quite. I thought that would be a reach, but seems not. I guess we would need to fall in the other way. Which will necessitate that I rethink this, because falling into the other platform seems a little bit tricky unless you are kind of starting out at the lip of this one here and then proceeding. So let's just play around with this for a moment. Now, it doesn't particularly matter, I think, so long as I'm not falling along standard gravity and facing it down, because that's the only spot that's actually deadly. So, for example, if I'm able to flip myself going this way, well, let's see what I can do. Am I able to hit? No, let's just scroll back. Yeah, it is spaced in such a way to make that not the method that we're looking for. Now, ideally, I'd find some other way to fall in from the other side. But actually, no, I know what to do. We need to get on the inside platform and then flip the switch again, and I should be magnetized to the bottom of this platform here. I think that's exactly how we're going to make this happen. There we go. And then I fall in. However, is this the orientation I actually want? Let's maybe get myself over here first, because I will be falling in without actually sticking in the landing. And, oh yeah, there is a platform. Okay. I thought I did miss something in the 3D space. But we'll keep that in mind, perhaps, if it's viable to do something like a 100% run afterwards. Now let's see if I can just follow the spokes and rotate all the way up in the shadow world before I stop completely on the far side. Because ideally I'd like to make my way up. Really seems like there is going to be something there. But without some kind of additional alteration of a gravity mechanic, I guess maybe that's not happening right away. Also, the gears are going to keep turning, even though my 3D self has already been transported to the other side. And so this is going to be just a pure platforming segment in the Shadow Realm. And we'll keep that in mind in case there is something optional that's going to become accessible. I really feel like there should be if we do ride this around. There's just too much space in use here that we have not explored. Yeah, maybe not. Seems like mechanically that would require some more finesse than what we're able to apply just yet. So there were a lot of locations in the stream yesterday where I did think that it was very far from collecting all the puzzle pieces, but as you can see, we only missed 2 in total. And so sometimes there are just some segments in this game where the puzzle placement, or the bonus placement of the jigsaw pieces is just very, very sparse. The jigsaw pieces that unfold from these little birds or paper cranes. If you're in 3D, notice the switch that is on top. We'll be doing some more gravity switching over here. Now let's see what this panel is all about. Okay, this panel is about eliminating some of the lights. Sound is broken. Is it really? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, it's kind of cutting in and out, isn't it? Give me 1 second and we'll see if we can do a quick fix. Just give me 1 moment. Yeah, that's unexpected. But yeah, was it just kind of sounding like it was stuttering, or was something else going on? It should be back now. Let me know if it is stable or if there are some additional issues that we need to take care of. Okay, so you can move this all the way to the right, and that allows me to go through. However, we don't want to do that yet, because we want to access switch up top. However, what you can do is move on up here. Yeah, so do let me know if it is still operational. Okay, that moves the light. That's going to be something important to keep in mind here. And we'll see if I'm able to do anything with the switching mechanism over here. Okay, so that moves the light. But in combination, yeah, Grace and Doritos, it is actually quite relaxed, in fact. No, definitely not spooky. It's been a pretty smooth experience, very easygoing. You know, no jump scares or anything truly horrific, just a maybe slightly warped mindset from time to time. Okay, I do want to fall in to the opposite side here. Let's just pay attention to what I can do. Yeah, because the spotlight is moved by the central switch that I can stand on top of. I feel like I need to move out of the way first, and then maybe move in such a way that a platform that I'm standing on that gets eliminated. I think I know how, actually. We're going to move this. Then I'm going to move over here. No, and then I would need to press the switch after that. I think the idea then is to... Let's see, am I supposed to traverse me and my shadow throughout the whole level? Yeah, so if you look at the circles here, you clear each zone by making both your 3D self and your shadow self appear in the circles at the same time. So you do have to escort both of them across together, section by section. And that's how you pass and proceed. And then there are some bonus collectibles along the way. That's what this little bird here is. It transforms into a jigsaw piece. And so right now I'm just trying to puzzle out how to obtain that. I'm pretty clear on how to get both characters across as is, but I've been trying to do everything optional if possible. Also, I see that the sound is kind of glitching out again, so let me see if we can get this fixed up. I didn't have this problem in the last few streams, but it seems to have made a bit of a comeback. So just 1 moment while we try to patch it up. Yeah, very unfortunate, but we had recently not been encountering this with such frequency. So the little gear is moving one of the lamps. That's what it's doing. So hopefully the sound actually sticks around this time. So yeah, the little gear is moving the lamp that's in the 3D world. Now, my 3D self is not allowed to stand in the light, so I can't just camp out here on the switch and press the gear, because that will bathe my 3D character in light, and that's a fail state. Similarly, the shadow self is not allowed to go into the darkness. So that's how they're constrained, and that's how As you can see, the shadow self is treating the darkness as a wall. Now, if I move the spotlights by doing like this, I should be able to lift myself up like that. There we go. Now we just need to do something very similar to get myself all the way across. By flooding with light. And then giving myself an opening over in this realm over here to wrap around and then jump across. And that's how that works. So yeah, the gravity change is actually new to this chapter. I didn't see it in my first session yesterday.
I just need my friends and my castle and my books.
But yeah, there is a gravity mechanic. And there also is a plot line that's been running through this. It's about psychotherapy. So yeah, okay. So as you can see, here in this 3D space, I'm controlling the movement of the platform, which means that I'll be able to escort my shadow self across if I kind of merge this together and bring her over slowly. And then along the way,
Me. I want to be alone.
yeah,
No,
the
I won't leave you alone anymore.
little chirpy voice is the 3D self, and the mature voice is the shadow self. That's how you can tell them apart when they're having conversations with each other. So yeah, kind of wondering if anything is revealed by moving this back and forth. I don't think so. But we'll look at this and see if there's anywhere else to traverse. Okay, looks like this is a pretty straightforward sequence, unless, of course, we missed a puzzle piece along the way. What is this game found on? It is definitely on Switch, where I'm playing it right now. It's also on Steam. I'm not sure about other consoles or
I
Xbox Game Pass or anything like that. I'm not really sure, but definitely Switch and
You're the one
PC.
who's stubborn and keeps acting on her own.
I recently got it on sale, so I actually don't remember the base price. Back in June, there was a sale on a lot of shorter indie games that were on my wish list, and I thought I'd do as many as I could and that I could fit into 1 or 2 streams. And so this is a game that is on the shorter side if you're thinking about value in terms of time played. I am over the halfway point after having played for about 3.5 hours, as far as I know. So yeah, estimated length would be something about 6 hours, 7 hours maybe. And yeah, it totally makes sense if you are saving up for something bigger than that. It's funny because I sort of used to think that I would mainly play big games, and most of my time is spent really concentrating on one big title at a time that just kind of consumes all of my attention, which for the past 2 years or so has been Mario Maker. But I found that ever since I began streaming, that it's created an interesting space for shorter experiences again. That, you know, I like having things that if I'm going to broadcast them, I can do in just small handfuls of streams and really progress through nicely. But I totally understand the feeling of wanting mainly to focus on games that are just much more substantial purchases that'll keep you going for a very long time. Anyway, we're going to wrap around all of this.
Let me do all the work for you.
Yeah, right now I don't have access to my 3D self in this section here. I'm just scanning around here quickly to see
I understand that I may have made a mistake.
if we
Forgive me.
might have missed something optional, but
Please.
oh, here's
Come
3D
on,
self again,
don't
which I
shut me
can't
out
control
again.
here. And hey, Glitch, welcome. And yeah, Glitch, if you're talking about your sort of boss rush extravaganza that had all the bosses from all your different past levels in hard mode, thanks for letting me know about that. You're always welcome to submit the new code once you did patch that fix in. And the anti-key death broke and it was possible to skip the checkpoint. Yeah, good to find that stuff as early as you can, as always. She can hear me, but she doesn't reply. Let's see.
Some advice, maybe?
I don't think I can actually get past this myself unless I jump over and... actually, because of the walls here, there is going to be a wraparound that wraps around over to the next platform because I'm going to cross one wall and I'm going to fall through the vertical wall like this. Watch this. Like that. So now we take advantage of that wall jumping logic to see if we can grab that. I show my hesitation so dimly, so vaguely. It allows lures to take hold and shapes all decisions. My wavering. Anyway, let's reveal the next section. Where did she go? You had to move one donut block up one tile. Yep, that's the debugging process for you. That's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, I don't think I can make either of these jumps. I do need to probably take advantage of more of the wall falling again. If I'm able to do that somewhere here. Yeah, let's see if we can... yeah, I know how to do this. I jump across this corner. When I jump across this corner, I fall in like this. There we go.
Hello?
Not sure if there's anything optional. There is just the door there.
Hello?
And yeah, Glitch, thanks for dropping by.
Hello?
And we'll be back to viewer levels as usual on the weekend if all goes as planned, so definitely looking forward to seeing you then. And I know I just catch you on a lot of the other Maker streams as well from time to time, so I'll probably see you on one of those before I'm streaming the game myself. Okay, so once again, let's take advantage of the wall falling mechanic. I think if I drop down here, I'm just going to go around in some kind of loop. Now, if I go around a loop, going basically anti-clockwise around a surface, then I can't fall onto the crane unless I cross over the center. If I cross over the center, then I can fall in the other direction. I think that's how this works.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. We're going to cycle through. Directionally, I'm not exactly sure how to control this any better, but yeah, I think I just push inwards. If I push inwards, then I can circle around like this, and then I want to cross the center and fall in. Can't wait to get Oculus Quest 2. Oh, if FNAF, I guess it's Five Nights at Freddy's. I've actually never played any of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I just completely missed out on that whole series. But from what I heard, I guess it would be a pretty interesting VR experience. I didn't know that it was actually something that was being worked on for VR.
Am I going the right way?
But I'm not terribly surprised to hear it.
Where are you?
Nowhere.
I feel like I'm a long ways off from any kind of VR adoption myself. I remember when the new Half-Life game was shown off last year, and I was just thinking, okay, in 5 to 10 years, maybe we'll finally get to it. Anyway, back to dual control over both characters. Just going to scan around with my corporeal self again, in case we have any paper cranes to pick up. Seems not, so... So this is sort of interesting. I didn't expect this game to have some gravity platforming mechanics. This is actually the second game in recent memory that caught me by surprise with some of that, having recently played Grease, which also had some Galaxy inspiration in the endgame. Okay, we have some thorns here. We should figure out how to jump across. Probably just jump across, catch the fence. Okay, it's safe down there. Good. And then we'll figure out how to fall in through the walls again to catch this platform over here. Why does 3DU not like Shadow U? They have a bit of a fraught relationship. So these two characters have been cooperating so far, but they've also landed each other into trouble and gotten each other lost a bit. So there's occasionally a little bit of mutual resentment. But they are both kind of united in their purpose against the third narrative voice in this game, which is the psychiatrist that, I think, a psychiatrist that neither of them really appreciates. Okay, I think what I can do here is I can jump across this wall and rotate in this way. And then I can go over here. Okay, directionally I have to push up rather than go left. I don't know if I like the sort of orientation of this. I find it more intuitive to be going with character-oriented controls where I would push left and right rather than up and down, which is what I'm doing instead.
Where am I?
On your own.
Anyway, that's the psychiatrist's voice. But yeah, the idea is that the 3D self, who has hair all over her face, doesn't like to be undergoing treatment for her fear of the light. That's kind of about as much as we've discerned about the plot. So eventually we can raise and lower this. Let's just see if I can fall in and do anything else here. Let's scout ahead, actually, to see what this wall is like, in case there's anything interesting to fall into. It doesn't seem so. Sometimes there are some concealed collectibles, but we'll just deal with that bit by bit at a time. Nothing here. And whoops, accidentally fell into some thorns. Yeah, it doesn't reveal anything if you pull that back. Okay. Just scouting around here in case we're missing something. Yeah, as before, let me know if the audio is bugging out. It did cut out twice on us already earlier, which I hoped would not be the case. Okay, looks like Shadow Self is just going to fall in to whatever that is. Before we go, oh yeah, I guess I'll be able to manipulate something with this platform.
I just need silence.
Didn't you say you didn't need anything besides your friends, your castle, and your books? What happened to that?
Okay, now this is interesting. I get to rotate any way I want. Oh. And I'll want to look for something optional here as well. I feel like it's fairly likely. But sometimes there are some very long stretches, as I said, without any puzzle pieces, so hard to tell. Yeah, it looks like I actually got carried across on the this 3D side and wasn't really paying attention to that. I do wonder if I missed a collectible while its 3D self was on the moving platform. Down there you can see the swing motif. The swing motif has been here with us since the opening scene of the game. The game begins with the Shadow Self getting off of a swing. So there's some kind of childhood memory that's all bound up in that.
My friends leave me alone when I tell them to.
Anyway, she's going to
And
shut
the
that box.
problem is that I don't. Right? Sorry.
Alright, gonna knock on this door. Okay, so we'll have a box pushing mechanic here. I don't know where the light source is coming from right now, but we'll eventually find that out. Okay, that's just going to manipulate that. So, when shadows block these eyes, they tend to activate something. Kind of wonder if anything was activated down here, but I feel like I am well out of the way. I actually kind of wonder if there's any way for 3D Self to get up top here. Probably not. Alright, forward we go. And we'll eventually push her up. Yeah, because it looks like I could fall in and maybe change platforms along the way. Let's just fall in. And once again, we have a corner, which means that I do get to reorient myself in some ways, if I can. What's going to happen is that eventually I'll want to wind up on top of the other eye. And the way I can do that is just by jumping across and, whoops, maybe making a better landing. I feel like I should be able to reach that. There we go. Let's go to lower another platform. That's going to give me some text. Am I a burden? Okay, so that platform is going to gently release. And so I have a bit of a time challenge here where I'll need to fall back on top of it. By switching platforms around this corner, jumping across like that. Let's see if I'm missing anything over on the 3D side.
I have nowhere else to go but to you.
Am I a liability?
Okay. Down we go.
Am I a burden?
No, you're just a bit heavy.
I feel like shadows are generally weightless, but okay. So, this is going to be rotating segments, very strongly implying I should explore something with its rotation, but... yeah, because what if I rotate all the way in... let's just wait for the next cycle. Yeah, once again, when you switch around corners, the left and right input does switch to up and down. Like I said, I don't know if I really agree with that implementation, but we'll see what we can do with it. Okay, right now, I don't have a way to cross, unless I step on top of my own shadow. I wonder actually if we can do that crisscross this way. I feel like that's not going to give me quite enough room. Actually, no, I just stand on the shadows like a rotating platform. Just like this. Oh, no, it doesn't move me with the platform. I actually have to move with it in 3D space. Keep thinking of it in terms of some other platformer logic that doesn't really apply here. I feel like I probably could have snuck over to the bottom side as well, but maybe not. Let's rotate around another 180. And there we go. Oh, whoops. Didn't realize I was on the spokes here. Yeah, we'll eventually move over here, but first we'll drop down. Fairly straightforward. And then that's going to be the end of this segment.
Just a bit loud.
Okay, 77 out of 98 so far. I think we've arrived here to what kind of looks like a compass needle in a way. But yeah, it looks like we'll be taking advantage of the curved surface as well as the corners somehow. I noticed that it is a bit of a smooth corner around this room rather than a sharp corner that gives you that 90-degree rotation. But let's explore here first, just in case there is something interesting, which does not look to be the case just yet. Alright, let's see what we can do. We don't know what the switch does. The switch raises that, allows me to fall onto the inside and probably do some rotation out of that. This switch rotates where that platform can go. Okay. That seems really important. Let's take a look at what is ahead, just so we know what we're dealing with here. So yeah, we have to eventually fall through that gap. Not before I check the top side, though. So here's how we'll be doing this. I'm going to fall in, and then I'm going to follow the curve. And okay, so that can be raised, but doesn't seem to do much useful yet. Eventually, I want to... yeah, I want to be on the inside because that's what's going to let me fall. Oh, whoops, no, wrong switch. So I'm going to come over here. And then that lets me drop. Okay, all good. Let's drop into the next area. And that will be it for this. Yeah, kind of surprised that I haven't uncovered anything here, although the game is usually fairly transparent about where the optional collectibles are going to be. They don't really tend to be visually hidden.
Should I keep my distance? Should I stay silent? Just for you?
Oh, shadow's gonna fall. I can still control the shadow. And actually, I'm going to be a little bit stuck here until I get pulled all the way up. So we're quite separated right now. So not much cooperation going on in this segment until I figure out what we're in for. Okay, let's take note of this collectible over here. And oh, didn't expect that.
Bridge just like you broke my castle.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
It was necessary. We can build other bridges and other castles.
I wonder if I can still get across somehow. Actually, yeah, I can just rebuild. Oh, I can just raise myself like that. That's interesting. That was actually kind of a surprise, but we can, in fact, build out of bridges. I didn't really properly explore the bottom side, though, so let's... Oh, looks like I'm past the point of being able to collapse that, so... That was an unexpectedly quick solution. Okay, let's move on.
You look so tired. Please don't push yourself.
So one thing I've noticed is that the subtitles to the individual chapters previously began with things like session number 1, session number 2, etc. I guess that's when your character was still in therapy before we escaped from the hospital complex. So now, for the Ascension chapter, it's preceded by the text saying, "Where are we?" So yeah, one little subtle change there that I hadn't taken note of previously. Okay, so we can go around corners again. Let's see if we'll do any other manipulation here. Yeah, it looks like this track is just going to go left and right. Also, that I'll be able to push in order to seal that wall. Oh no, that's just a shadow. Okay. Straightforward then, you just go down, except I want to figure out how to get to this puzzle piece here. Looks like the only way to do that will be to probably shrink this somehow and stand on top of it, or create this platform as a safety point, and then drop into it. So yeah, we'll see if it's going to be a drop this way or a drop this way. Could be either one. But for the time being, we will just drop down like this. Push yourself. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, well, let's take note of the walls here and the curves and see if we can do anything to manipulate my falling direction around a corner. Or even just using the gravity mechanic as we did previously. Yeah, because I can fall in here. Oh, did not expect that. That's going to lock me into that side unless I find some way to switch her back. I feel like I should reverse out of that if I want that previous collectible, otherwise I will wind up trapped. So let's reverse. Yeah, that gate was a bit of a surprise. I did not foresee that happening. So yeah, we will need to fall in through a corner somehow, and let's see what corner that's going to be. Maybe all the way to the left, actually. Given that the box actually is able to go that far. Okay. Pull this way. And we'll pull her all the way to the end. And do a corner drop, too. Do a quick reorientation. That might not have been the best idea. Oh, except now I can lower myself like this. So, no, that's fine. Can I go around a thorn? Yes, I can. Okay. Just lower myself slightly here. And then across. And that's how we do it. Let's give myself a tiny bit more space. And then I can actually just drop directly over here now. Alright, there we go. Okay, now let's see what this is all about. Once again, I can just cross my 3D space running across. Looks like I should be able to get to the backside as well if I am careful about rotation. Let's see if I can do it. I feel like I should be able to make this corner. Oh, whoops. No. Let's just try to walk with it. Okay, I was trying to walk across here. Because there is that brief moment when it looks like you can skate across this corner, and I guess not. Looks awfully suspicious, but doesn't look like we actually do it. Anyway, we have to fall in the center, so let's just figure out quickly how we'll go about doing that. I probably shouldn't have entered in this direction, actually. I think what I can do is maybe rotate around the outside. I don't think I can make this jump. No, didn't think so. Whoops, there we go. And just fall in, yep. Yeah, once again, wonder if I missed something, but it doesn't look like we can skate across to the other corner. Quickly. Actually, no, you know what? I was able to traverse there in the first place, so let's just go there normally. Let's just walk there the way we would ordinarily walk. And let's just follow this around. Yeah, always just missing slightly more obvious interactions. I wanted to check everything in the back. Okay, I guess there's nothing. There was a bit of text earlier. But yeah, it looks like nothing in the level geometry that we're going to be interacting with. Are you talking to me or to her? Once again, I don't think the monospace is necessarily consistent about whether it is associated with one of the puzzle pieces, so let's just walk over and go back to where we were before. Okay, let's double up. No more, apparently. We have another switch over here that can be activated. We'll see what that's all about in just a moment. It looks like it's going to be raising this platform. It's going to raise me along with it. However, I haven't really checked right side yet, and I should do that before we proceed. Just in case. We don't know yet what is over here. Looks like there is another lift that we can manipulate later on. Yeah, currently we need some kind of falling location. Yeah, I guess I am able in the Shadow World to fall all the way over to the gear. We'll just scout ahead and see if there's anything else that is notable about this. Looks like it is just, once again, separate platforming between these two. That mainly, the interaction here is just scouting ahead and see what's there. I kind of wonder if I was able to fall in such a way that would allow me to explore that to the left. No, it's just thorns, actually, so nothing if we go backwards or against the current. Just watching that gear on the top left in case something rotated in, but I guess that is nothing. Alright, bit of a faster pattern now. And quite a lot more to work with. Okay, let's grab that. That's easy pickings. You create the gaps, yes I do. I'm not able to walk on this lower piece here. We do need to follow the shadows. So yeah, once again, this is going to be a segment where these two are just going to operate independently. Not much else going on with that, unless we missed another exit point, but no, I think this is all there will be. And that's going to raise me all the way up. No more gaps. Okay. Don't know if I can reverse. Nope, guess not. So yeah, some sections like this are not really cooperative, apart from just giving the other character some scouting information. And so, let's find a way to fall in by reorienting myself. And just thinking about how we'll do it. I feel like we should have... Whoops. Let's just get out of... nope, couldn't get out there. We can just get out this way. And just walk it over. Okay, nothing optional here, and indeed, no more gaps.
It's going to take time to bridge the gaps.
Okay, here's something optional. Let's see if we can do it. Looks like there will be a particular pattern that we'll watch out for. And yeah, we'll just... Whoops. Not do that. Not get shot. Yeah, there's actually going to be a particular space that I need to get into in order to align with that properly. And yeah, because of the way that these rotate past each other. So let's get into a different spoke. This one should give it to me eventually. Because of the way that both pieces are... Oh no, it's not. It's going to be missing. Alright, let's just watch this carefully to see which spoke I should be getting into. It should be this one, actually. They do match up. There we go.
Focus on...
Focus, he says, but we refuse. I kind of wonder if there was anything that we could have traversed over here, but we'll have to find that out on a different cycle. Yeah, okay, you can cross over there. But we'll just need to gradually work our way across to the next exit point. Alright, there we go. Actually, was there another exit point here that we could have taken? No, that's it. Okay, that's the end point. Time to heal from me. Alright, more gravity mechanics, always welcome. Oh, the light's just going to shut off there.
We have to be patient.
When I am told to leave my room, it's never for good things, never.
Calm down. Breathe. It's all right.
It occurs to me at this point that she's basically... what is it? Bernadetta from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Somebody who just loves to be a shut-in. Definitely a fan favorite in that game for a reason. Eventually, I'm guessing the crate is not going to go on top of the switch because it's only going to shadow things back and forth like this. You can get on top of that spotlight there. I wonder if the spotlight is going to move if I, use it as a lift this way. Kind of wonder if anything else will be revealed here. Let's watch this carefully. And let's also see what this affects. Okay, don't see what that affects on the shadow side, but we'll see what this switch does. Raises and lowers that platform. Same idea, okay. So yeah, depending on whether we need to be stepping on something at a given time, we'll just adjust accordingly. Kind of wondering if I can do anything over here. No, let's not crush myself, obviously, just... Kind of wondering about that curve, because I'm sure it's there for a reason. Let's just scan around here first. Okay. Don't really see anything obviously changing. But it does make me wonder if this orientation can actually be useful somehow. Feels like we wouldn't just have a curved surface there for no reason. Oh, you know what? We can just activate everything from the lower level instead. Oh wait, no. We need to make sure I'm boxed in first. There we go. Let's see, because there definitely seems like there's something traversable up there. Also, anything down here. You can fall back down, but there's no reason to do it. Not yet. I do need to reorient myself gravity-wise in order to fall into that location properly. So we'll keep that in mind. Yeah, so that would be a reason to reorient myself. The other thing that can be done is creating a platform. Ah, no, I know. You just get on top of the curve, you raise her this way, and that's how you do it. Okay, so let's get back down here. And then drop in. Do the curve like this. Raise myself like this. Fall in, lift up. Now here's the thing, I feel like if we manage to get her out of this part of the box, I'd be able to jump over to the other side here. Which looks faintly available. But in order to do that, I can't really get enough jump height though. But, whoops. Actually, if I can tug things really quickly, like I'm standing on the edge here and, oh, never mind. I was hoping to lift her up here as well. If she's standing on that platform, but that's not how the light and shadow are going to interact. Yeah, I don't know if I can make it across. It really does look suspicious. But I don't know if maybe the top side is going to be a bit more cooperative if we go up and see how things go from up here. I do find it curious that both of these switches affect the same thing on either side. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. That looks like a suspicious location. Oh, and indeed, there actually is a way to continue there now, so... Alright, that explains some things. And eventually we can... perhaps change orientation around that corner to the right. Well, right now, one thing we can do is go back to the lower level and move the original block some more. Because we know that that does go all the way down to the curve. Doesn't actually help right now, though. Why don't we proceed up top and see what else I can do there? Even with the reset function, it's very rare that the game gets you into any actually locked situations. If it does, though, we'll just do a big rewind and take care of it that way. Yeah, look at this slot over here. It really implies that something like a block could be placed on top of it. Maybe I do have to reset out of this. Well, the main thing that opened up was this additional pool of light, this additional lamp. Yeah, could be looking at a long reset here, but see if there's any kind of new mechanism that's been affected here. Nope, just that one. It might just do the big reset. Seems a little uncharacteristic, though. Also don't quite see the benefit of having myself change levels just yet. But stuff like this does look awfully suspicious, probably because we can raise and lower the block onto each successive level, and that's the thing with this concept that I've been missing so far. That we can use the lift to do things like this. Which is important because now if we do any raising and lowering, well, first of all, I can push myself up to the level I want. I still wonder about that curve down there, though. Whether reorienting myself at the bottom level is going to be useful for something. Like if I manage to rotate myself and fall in yeah, very curious. I think before I take that exit, I want to inspect this just a little more carefully. Oh, oops. Didn't expect that that would be a depth zone over there. Yeah, I mean, I can just get out, but I'd rather not do that yet until we've figured out a little bit more of what we can do with the curve on the right side. So currently I want to do a 180 rotation. And I'm trying to figure out where we can do that. I think one way we can do it is by, well, maybe not pushing that far. I can only do one block at a time like this, though. Okay. So I guess I can't actually go through that gap. However, I am able to probably use the switching mechanism here to change up where I can go. Now if I move myself down this way, basically reverts myself to the situation we had much earlier. Guess we'll try to see what happens. Yeah, gonna fall in. And I kind of wonder now that we have this orientation whether I can make anything interesting happen from this side here. So ideally I want to be able to get all the way over there and push all the way up. I feel like it's possible if we, for instance, reveal all this. That just continues going up, but yeah, okay, that's just on to the next puzzle though. So yeah, that will eventually be relevant to something down there, but not yet. And yeah, I'm perfectly aware that we've had access to the exit for a while now. I just want to see if we can do something to manipulate this further. This was our original entry point, of course, I think. And I guess I would have to march the block all the way back down to the bottom level to kind of get this lift working again, but yeah, we can do that, not a big deal. It just looks so suspicious. Also notice that bottom right there that gets revealed. There is nothing there, though. Okay. However, I can probably find a way to... Let's see if there's any other lower level that we can work with here. No. Yeah, I was trying to find a way to maybe use the gravity mechanic to push myself up this way. Just reorient myself. 90 degrees. Guess not. Let's just go back to doing things the former way. Right. Never mind. I do strongly suspect I'm missing something, though. Yeah, because if I raise myself here with a normal orientation, then I would need to do another 90-degree rotation. Yeah, let's just leave things as is and continue moving up. It does seem suspicious that I can continue pushing all the way up, but I think I just need to park here for the moment and reveal a bit more space, and maybe something will present itself. Alternatively, if I'm on the other side of this block now, let's scout over here. Alright, let's just take this. Yeah, it feels like I should maybe reveal the next circle first to see where we're going, and then if I'm able to reverse, then we'll do it. Yeah, that totally is something. Actually, now that some of this has been revealed, I can see exactly how to do it. We move this back down a level. We should probably get back over here first. Nope, let's go back by one step. Okay, I see. In that case, I should probably reverse myself facing downwards, such that I can just fall in to that area. Now, how should we go about doing that? Feels like I might need to reorient myself at the end of the next section, rather than at the beginning of this one. Unless we fall all the way in there. And rotate around the bottom side. No, I think we actually should just keep on going up. Let's see what we can do. So, not like that, obviously. I don't think I can actually reach that, can I? Yes, I can. But there will be no safe landing point, so that's not useful. Yeah, let's continue proceeding. And what I'll do instead is see if we can double back somehow. Yeah, what I wasn't expecting was that the blocks would only be placed in such a way that would lead to a crush on that far side. So here, what I can do instead is just fall in a little bit differently, I think. And I don't know about that. I think I'm already too far. Unless I find a way to rotate here. Just looking ahead at where I can fall in. I can't actually go past the unrevealed boundary, so I think we need to back up and rethink this. So how am I going to get myself to safety? Oh, there are no more thorns on that side. Okay, no, I know how. Didn't realize that the thorns had been uncovered here. Okay, that's simple, actually. That's, in fact, all there is to it. That was a lot easier than expected.
If you've come this far, it must mean that you really, really want my help after all.
Okay. Fall in, and let's continue. Yeah, I didn't realize that the thorns had disappeared from that bottom element there. Does simplify things considerably.
I don't need help. I just need more time.
Breathe. What?
More time.
Time? I don't understand. If you want to help, do it right.
Well, we'll see what that's all about, eventually. For the moment, though, actually, you know what? I wonder if I can fall into this one a little bit differently. Not really. I think I am a little limited to that. Anyway, let's fall in here. Follow the shadows over. Let's see where to go next. Okay, shadows trapped again. Let's see what we can do. Looks like I should be able to head down. Or not. Oh wait, I'm actually able to crack some mechanism, I think, by running around in circles. Sounds like it. But oh no, this is the way forward. Okay, let's not do this yet until I've had a chance to scout over here. Let's actually go back. Just taking a look to be careful. Okay. Fine, let's rotate. I mean, it seems like the ability to stop and go back and forth is something that is potentially significant, and that's why.
You turn to me.
No, she turns to me.
Thought it would be something like that. And that's almost there, just checking some locations to be absolutely sure. Okay, lights on. And let's match up. On we go. Love how smooth the transitions are. I mean, we've played it in 2 segments, but the whole world has been designed as an almost entirely continuous adventure, apart from just 1 or 2 major scene transitions early on. But, whoops. Oh, didn't realize I couldn't step into that. Okay, so we've got the hands of the clock here. And they're going to play the Big Ben chime. And then I get to draw the hands of the clock with my movements. Let's scan around in here first just to see what we're dealing with. Yeah, I love this integration of the Big Ben motif. Alright, so I can move the hands of the clock if I follow the inside track. However, I'll need to get to safety on the minute hand.
How much time must I wait?
And yeah, I don't see anything optional right now, but I guess the idea here is that I can eventually just fall in.
Am I supposed to keep waiting for you?
In fact... Oh, whoops. Thorns there. I didn't see that. That's a thing I didn't account for earlier. So yeah, it's only under certain circumstances where that's going to open up. And so I need to get on the reverse side of this. To get on the reverse side, we'll need to make some kind of jump by adjusting the hands. Also notice that I can follow the minute hand on the inside as well when I'm in 3D space. So yeah, the idea here is to get myself over to the other side. No, whoops. feel like that is possible if I'm just careful about where I'm going. Figure out some way to fall in to the other side of the minute hand, or indeed even the hour hand. I just need to rotate it a bit further. Look at the clock just splitting apart like that. Yeah, I don't know if I like this idea. I think maybe there's a more efficient way to do it. Where I go over here to the hour hand first, and then move the minute hand such that I can fall on it like this. And then I lower it this way. Much better. Okay, there we go.
You need to remember. You need to learn.
Wait for me to remember. Wait for me to learn.
Okay, looks like things have dimmed a bit with a new tint for this chapter. And we're in some kind of fun house, like we're listening to a carousel. Some kind of barrel organ in the circus. Well, let's look ahead, and once again, just a very smooth scene transition. And yeah, that's about what we can expect. The long dream, the bad dream, the big show. Not really seeing those Warcraft orcs here, though.
Is this what you wanted to remember?
So, some kind of funhouse dream sequence. Very Monkey Island-like, in some ways.
I guess that's a yes.
Do I have to guess what you're thinking? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, there's the end bulb here. They have seen, they have said, they have talked. Obviously, I'm going to wrap around here to see if there's anything I missed, but... Alright, let's move on. Yeah, sometimes there are sequences like this that just establish a sense of place. They don't really have anything to interact with. You just go through the scene and see what you're revealing next. Still on 83 out of 98. Looks like the balloons can be moved. Whoops, they can also be popped. Let's reverse for just a moment here. Okay, I can't step on them either because they will also pop. So in that case, we just pop all the balloons. No need to keep them. It's not like they'll be any use to me if I can't actually jump on them at all. Things look kind of fun here. Let's check every corner. Before we head over to the little duckies or swans, or I guess they are duckies, in this little fishing pool. And we'll eventually wind up in a cage, like a caged circus animal. Okay, nothing down there. Or indeed over here. Yeah, once we reveal the next segment, I'm sure we'll be able to traverse that a bit further.
Haven't we seen you before, Fishing Man?
Honestly, I can't tell most of these box people apart. They all look more or less the same to me. Anyway, I'm trapped. Feels like I remember this part from a Charlie Chaplin film. Except, of course, with the bit with the dragon. Okay. Surprisingly lethal dragon that's going to chase things around. I don't think I can get on that thing. I guess SpongeBob actually is a box person. It's very true. I don't know if you can really push and pull him around to solve puzzles, though. I've never played the SpongeBob video game. I don't know if that's a part of it.
Didn't expect it to still be there.
Anyway, Shadow's going to lead me through the circus. We're not going to hit the waypoint just yet. Behind the stage. Okay, here's another box puzzle. Looks like this is going to be in silhouette. We'll eventually be able to push that switch. But I just want to explore a bit here first, before we do anything else. It looks like my movement is going to affect that. We'll eventually be carting my shadow self across. But in the meantime, if I'm able to get across... Nope. Don't know if I can get behind that. I guess not. Since it is going to mirror my position. Oh, look at this. There's going to be another box projection back here, too. That's kind of important. Yeah, because then you can do this halfway projection in a way where you have lights on both sides. And yeah, we'll need to mask both boxes eventually, so. Alright, so we'll figure out how to do this. Controls the rings here on either side, so we need to raise both switches, and we need to determine which one she's controlling at any given time. And that's going to be determined by which one is actually blocked in silhouette. Right now, yeah, they're kind of in an alternating pattern, so shut them both. And then I open this up. And with that open, she should be operating both of them at once. Correct. Just seeing if there's anything else here. Behind the stage. Wonder if that's a clue of any importance. And whoops, nope. Didn't realize I was standing in a sensitive location there. Well, let's cart her across.
Thank you for doing all the work. I wish I could carry you like this.
The Shadow's been carrying a pretty good portion of this game. No complaints about division of labor. Anyway, more balloons to pop. So, we can probably push these back and forth. And, whoops, probably shouldn't pop against myself. Let's do this instead. You personally let your shadow do all the work. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I feel like that's been the story that's been illustrated all along in all the Mang level comments.
Do you remember this
All the
as
comment
well?
art. A shadow person doing all the platforming on your behalf. Okay, let's see. This is going to be a bit of a shooting gallery game. Everything is going to get scattered. Yeah, once again, not really much to interact with in this sequence. Just going to go through the motions here and take this cinematically. As to Teapot Head, I can stay silent too, you know. It's a welcome change, not to be forced to speak, and to speak instead through text. Okay, here's another cage sequence. Let's see. Feels like the balloon is going to pop and it's going to drop this whole thing on me. Oh, okay, platforming. That's a warning. Wonder if that's a timed threat. Okay. And, right. Glad I could actually read that accurately. Looks like that's going to point downwards and easy enough to dodge.
Thank you.
Oh, this little puppet show.
I don't mind playing.
Literally a shadow puppet show.
I remember playing a lot back then.
Makes me think, oddly enough, of the shadow puppet animated sequence in the film of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I always thought that was
What? They don't
one of the more
play.
interesting sequences in those films
Have
in
you seen
general. Let's see here. It's one of those rare moments when they really understood the tone of the series. Okay, so if you push it in front of the lights, then it becomes faded. As before, I don't know what the switches are actually going to affect yet, though, so let's just pull things around. Yeah, that's well within the range of illumination. I mean, we do need to just experiment a bit and see what this affects in the outer world. Yeah, same idea here, actually, that it's going to be a timed segment, which means that we need to activate both of these quickly. The way we do that is we overlap their shadows, because that will create a full shadow that will become interactive, and that will allow the switches to be interacted with together. Pretty understandable. Let's actually get in the wagon this time, so I don't clip my own shadow like I did the last time around. Still scraping the area for collectibles, but
I could move
nothing,
you
it seems.
like this. You wouldn't
Oops.
have to you like this. You wouldn't have to walk if you
Did I
didn't want to.
actually walk around the back here? Alright, let's move on. I was waiting, you were watching, they were judging. You didn't mind them, you only minded yourself. And that's a good
Do
thing.
you think the other is gone forever?
I guess the other just means the villainous psychiatrist, from what I can tell. Okay, looks like we need to jump through some more hoops. And we'll see what is affected by what. Looks like I have to block the switch. Let's see what these affect. I guess they need to be simultaneously raised. If we hit this, then you have a few deadly balloons. And you pop everything, but then there's a new supply. However, it looks like it temporarily raises the gate and allows my shadow to cross over. So what's going to happen is that I will press both switches. I will get the shadow onto the right side. And once I do that, I'll be able to cross over on the right side of the balloons without any issues. Let's see what this blocks. Yeah, it's because the balloons block this. That's why that works. Let's check around here first. Don't see any cranes, but might as well take a look just to be sure in case anything is just slightly out of the way. Yeah, I think in some ways that the optional collectible design might be a little too sparse for its own good, where, you know, on one hand you don't want to have too many, but on the other hand, it's difficult to expect when I should be looking and when I shouldn't. Just because you have some very long stretches without anything, and then suddenly some story sequences where it just dumps a lot on you at once. Okay, no, we wanted to do it this way. Raise the balloons. Walk across. Okay, curved surface here. That's going to be interesting, as always. Okay, that's going to raise me all the way up top. I wonder if I do get to curve around a surface when I'm there. Or get squished or something. Oh. Yeah, we can hit the bell. Let's just hit the bell. No. Yeah, this segment is sort of aesthetically interesting, but after the gravity segment earlier, this is definitely not quite as involved mechanically. I guess I should just walk this. I am limited to the shadow once again.
Let's do this. You and me, friend.
Okay, it looks like it's more dragon avoidance. Okay. Pretty simple, not exactly sure where it's going next. Oh. Yeah, we just need to watch where it points. It's gonna pop some balloons at some point, I'm sure. Actually reasonably blind friendly, I'd say. Yeah, you can see every location that is actually going to threaten. Now, I assume this is a timed survival challenge and not specifically looking for an exit point. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly, since it does seem to be looping around quite a bit without developing much further. So I don't know if there's something specific I should be doing to get out of here. I'm only sort of inferring that because the previous segments were timed. Yeah, actually I do need to just lead it up, I think, and then drop the balloons on top of it. Yeah, I see. Yeah, so yeah, there is an exit condition that's within my control.
I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. Did you see how amazing I was? All on my own.
Impressive how they managed to build a dragon by stacking a few winged Bowser Juniors, yeah. I mean, that's how they kept it loaded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. Thank you for playing with my friend. They said it was frightening. They said I had to leave. They said I had done too much to keep them out. I think it's a little bit vague about who they is referring to.
Was this also a memory?
Memory of the time that you faced down a dragon.
You shouldn't have to walk if you don't want to. I'll find a way to help.
I like how they're steadily just rebuilding their trust and camaraderie just by getting each other through a few additional puzzles. Okay, same idea here. I think it's going to be another balloon release. It feels like it's been an exceedingly long time since we've seen any paper cranes, but
What are they doing here again?
I guess plot-wise it's partly because the psychiatrist's voice has steadily disappeared, but... Okay, so it looks like we'll probably need to raise balloons over there. And then sit on top of the other eye as well. So why don't we move some of these? Let's see what's going on here. Okay, good. I see. So you need to mask the middle section somehow. Whoops. Oh, didn't see that this would push me. Yeah, if you mask the middle section, like this, then I can get the balloons released without them popping against the thorns.
It's actually quite easy to think of them as friends. I see it now.
Think of who as friends? The dragon, or the home appliance people, or... who else? I'm not exactly sure I follow. Oh, looks like I'm alone over here. Anyway, here's the magic school bus. Looks like the excursion is over. Looks like I'm also seeing that shadow trapped in the signage over there. Yeah, so this chapter, mainly a story sequence so far. As we get all the way down this interminable bus. It's a two-ended bus. Oh, I see. Because it's just a transition to its other location. Yeah, once again we can appreciate the fluidity of some of the scene changes, even if they work by surrealist logic. Yeah, it kind of is like the Totoro bus. But maybe not so much in appearance. Okay, here's the swing. That's it for that chapter. Oh, look at this. The clock is stuck. You know what? Let's check this, since we have some freedom of movement. And yes, I am actually reading the equations to see if I can make anything of them. Looks like you're learning a lot of set theory, actually. Mostly is. Yeah. Like this B and W on the top right. As if the solutions are black and white. I totally am just reading the equations. Just give me a moment here. Don't worry, I'm not actually going to take the time to solve for n or anything like that. Oh, I see. This is actually also in French. This is some artwork that was in the original development language of the game. Yeah, because we know that A sub n and B sub n... Anyway, now let's not get distracted with the initial conditions. A sub 0 equals A, B sub 0 equals B. For all n that are in IN, such that Anyway, let's not spend too much time with this. I am kind of thinking about this. C sub n is just, like, as you can see in the sort of line diagram here, it's just average of A and B values. You know what? No pictures. I'm going to screenshot this, and we'll look at it later. I don't think there is an X here. So let's pull over. Okay, this is another double silhouette. And so we'll just need to overlap. Thinking all the time about the light source as well. Okay, yeah. Overlap shadows through this distance. Oh, that's interesting. I think that the blackboard actually does have some relation to the puzzle itself over here in terms of the kind of projection of averages that's going on. Vaguely. I'll look through it later in detail, but it's not just a random mess, like it actually is kind of related to the mechanic. You believe that would help? You believe I could help? I believe that I can apparently not move this box too heavy.
I don't remember what I learned. I remember learning, for sure, but I don't know what.
Yeah, that's how school feels in retrospect after a long time away.
Remembering is fine.
Oh, it's the therapist again. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We have another collectible at long last. And just looking through this whole area in case there's anything else eluding us, but yeah, it looks like we'll be doing the double shadow thing again. Just making sure I know, yeah, this is going to fade over there. This looks like it's going to be in silhouette. We need to darken it somehow when I have a chance to press that switch. But right now, it looks like I can get across. And yeah, you just have this projection of two lights. She's totally going to fall on that side, so let's just get across first. I feel like this was a mistake. That's... Is this a safe location? Oh no, didn't see the wall there. Let's rethink this. Yeah, because you can see that there is a bit of an extra ground projection that can get you through there. So let's watch the ground here. Okay, so that's interesting. Oh yeah, that's one thing I hadn't considered is the switch over here. We don't know what that does. Well, there's something... Okay, that's a time switch. But there's something I could do here, which is I can rotate. Like this. Once rotated like that, we can think about how to deal with the bird. Little bird puzzle. Oh, whoops. Feels like I will need well, some additional blockage there. Not really sure where it's going to come from, though. Let's just look ahead a bit. Eventually we'll drop through that area. Currently, we should just look back at where we came. I think with the box I can drag myself all the way up to the fence. Nope, not like that, I don't. Do need to jump over on this side. No. I can go over this slope here. And here's that projection. Okay, and so I think we'll find some kind of position that allows me to shade that guy, drop all the way down. Yep.
I am. You can make it.
Okay, next. Oh, that's just a switch over there. Okay, yeah, let's move everything back down. Gradually. Maybe move her a little bit over. And jump over. Hit the switch. Whoops. And then...
I can make it.
Oh, whoops. Just need to go a little bit faster than that. Bit of a slow reaction time because I
can make it.
initially switched characters by mistake. Yeah, we know you can make it.
Doing good.
Doing good. Anyway, here are some found objects. Let's see what else we managed to reveal in this zone. Okay, so we can activate the switch. Looks like there is that lamp here that can be manipulated. Switch probably has something to do with these panels on the right side. Oh, that's interesting. You can walk the other guy over. Walking the other guy over does give me another shadow to potentially stand behind, but let's see what this switch does. Okay, going to have some panels that let me through as expected. And then we can change where the light is projecting. Now that's interesting because it means that we could potentially cast these two shadows together and do a dual activation, which is something we learned about much earlier. Very fancy. Okay. Just keeping my eyes peeled for anything else.
Don't mind it.
Yeah, I guess they really does refer to the appliance people. Lost items, not to be mixed up with the found items. I don't understand my relation to those figures, though, those mildly robotic inhabitants of this place.
It's funny, isn't it? Suddenly I'm the one talking and moving and going forward.
I feel like the duties have been
Showing.
shared all along. Your what is showing? Your hard work? Your privilege? Or something else entirely? Okay, so looks like the shadow projection here is going to be something we'll manipulate. Can't actually sneak behind here. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you do need a bit of trial and error, I guess, to see what everything does for the first time. I think I just raised everything and jumped to the left for this guy here.
You're doing a good job. Step by step.
So now I need to figure out how to lower everything back down. Once again, this game doesn't really tend to create any locked up fail states. Not very often anyway, I don't think so. But I'll consider reversing out of that if that does look like a bad move. Because it looks like I'm not actually able to manipulate either switch now. Quite possibly I needed to... Let's step out here for just one moment. Just gonna Prince of Persia our way back for just one moment here. Possibly I needed to begin to lower this first and then jump over. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that interaction actually.
You're doing a good
So I guess
job.
that was maybe a lock state
Step by step.
before that, so a little bit unusual for this game. But I'll figure out how to raise the wall after that. Yeah, that's going to raise just fine.
I'm doing a good job.
Yeah. Generally, I'm
Doing a
not
good job.
actually
Yes.
paying that much attention to the light sources that are in the 3D space. I feel like that's an essential element of reading some of the puzzles that I haven't actually consciously engaged with very much. In terms of guessing where lamps are going to go. Anyway, let's move on. Let me understand. Ah, okay, so that's not a moving box. That's just going to continue wheeling its way forward. Don't know if it's eventually going to stop here, or if I need to interact with it a second time. I can't, okay. It's just going to continue. Once again, I wonder if this is immediately reversible or not. That's kind of strange that you would have a bunch of this stuff all of a sudden that seems to encourage you to use the rewind feature. These one-time switches. Because it feels like they've started showing up very suddenly in this chapter, whereas previously that was not the case. Oh, I see. No, because you would have been able to do that. I see, because it didn't actually go all the way down a track. That's why the interaction was just kind of partially stuck there. Kinda wonder if anything is up there. No, it doesn't seem so. Might as well let this retract the whole way. Just to tidy up after ourselves. I do want to check this back corner. It is surrounded by light though, so I guess that's a no-go behind all of these storage boxes full of documents. Anyway, let's build the corridor.
I think I understand.
I think I do too.
Yeah, but does my
I'm afraid
3D
she won't
self
forgive me.
understand?
Do you think I can make her understand?
So they're conspiring to do something that my 3D self is not really going to be happy with.
Do you think I can make her understand?
Now, why did the light blink off? Oh, because I need to walk forward, yeah.
You must move on.
Do I really have to leave her behind?
Well, the shadow is still trying to escape. It'll be an act of betrayal. Okay, this is once again going to move the box, but you can block the box. It'll be the same kind of mechanic as earlier. So again, can't really always see where the light sources are. Yeah, but you can still retract things over. Okay. Same idea here. We're going to snap the box over to the right side and then trap it between these two. Like that. Then we're going to snap it over one more time. However, we do need to let the box release first before we are able to do anything with it. Okay, trap it. Same idea.
You cannot do all this on your own.
Okay. On we go. Same idea here. Nothing more to see.
No one is watching anymore.
Analyzing, analyzing, analyzing. Okay, more boxes to snap all over the place. I'm just going to scan the area first, as usual.
No one is watching.
Okay, it looks like it's going to be another set of interactions that requires doubling up on some of these switches. I think. Yeah, if we just move the other box over, then I'm able to do a dual activation. I cannot get through to light right now yet, though, so we'll just move this over first. Oh, whoops. Yeah, because that bathes me in the light, so... Okay, so that switch moves this box here. That's important information. Because now they're being projected together, but I can move this box over. By doing so, I can snap it all the way back and do a double activation. Almost. Like that. Now let's get myself out of the way in case I get cooked in light once again.
No one is judging your choices.
No one is judging.
And
I am on my
yeah,
own, in a good way.
that's it here.
What about me?
Still at 85. So yeah, 3D self can totally overhear what's going on here. And okay, going to have a bit of an abrupt transition over to the box people.
You should try to focus on your memory.
Yes, metaphorically, that's what all the storage boxes are for. Just as memory receptacles. Okay, so here we're going to have a box that allows me to create some shadow, mostly to allow me to walk back and forth in this zone. Although we don't know what the switches activate yet, but I assume that it's going to move these boxes as before, and so we can trap them as necessary. So yeah, as you can see, that gets stuck. That's fine. Don't want to deal with it yet. So yeah, that just moves the light. Now we have, once again, a double activation. Although I'm also taking a look at what I can traverse here in 3D space. I feel like I should make it forward first, just to see what we are dealing with. But I'm pretty sure that we'll be fine if I do the double activation.
Try to focus on your dreams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, because in order to do the double activation, I have to move the box out of the way, such that the overlap is no longer stuck in place. So let's go back, let's move the box. Doesn't really matter where I move the box, I think, whether it's backward or forward. And yeah, you have a double once again. Oh, that's interesting. I think I do need to do some kind of separation here then. Because I do want the lamp to be on the left side, if I can. Yeah, this one affects the box, the other one affects the lamp. I actually do want that kind of projection pattern. Let's bounce this over. And now I pull this guy over. And then that should project a platform over to the right side.
On your progress.
Yep. Am I still able to get through? Yes, I am.
You should try harder.
Forgetting me in one of those boxes with the rest of that outdated stuff. Yeah, like I was saying, it is just a memory metaphor that we're dealing with here. It's like this is written on a sunken blackboard. Like you're serving out a detention. Like Bart Simpson. No, do. Write that repeatedly on the
Moving
wall.
on is not forgetting.
Anyway, the therapist seems to be encouraging the shadow to leave me behind. Don't know exactly why they're plotting that. Okay, this switch activates what?
I know you can do this.
Activates that guy, also bathes me in light. Generally just moves the light. So let's find some kind of safe spot. Also scout ahead. Yeah, because this looks like it's an overlapping double switch right now, and so...
I know you can do this.
Yeah, 3 switches, and now you have the other overlap. Oh, also notice this thing to the left. That's going to be important if we can figure out how to get back there. Let's just watch this pattern very closely. I guess if you activate the single switches, then you'd be able to do that.
Good job.
Anyway, this one's doubled up. Let's see what we can do. Looks like I would be able to get across, but then... Is there a spot where I am safe from the light? Yes, the middle section. So let's escort my 3D self over by standing in this pool of shadow. Hitting the double switch. And we move over. And that will steadily escort me over someday. Not yet. Need to hit the double switch first. Yeah, actually, I know I need to stand here. Okay, let's get out.
You still need me.
we go.
You must accept your wavering. It's a part of you, and we need to set a clear goal. Together.
Well, 12 pieces remain. We know that 2 were missing from the earlier chapters, so 10 pieces are unaccounted for from today's session.
Please don't leave me here.
Don't leave me here. Okay. Move on your own. Can I take the lead with... Oh. I wonder if anything changes if you decide to go Shadow first in that zone. I think the implication is that Shadow just automatically moves up into the box.
I'm not just a memory, I'm still here.
And if you look deeper, what do you see?
If I look deeper.
Act 4. Backstage. So yeah, I feel like we probably missed some things in the last section. But once again, we'll see how close to 100% we actually wind up being. Might be a little laborious to comb through entire sections for just 1 or 2 missing pieces.
If I look
I feel like we've been reasonably good about
see
doing the optional content, though,
where I am,
which has been the most interesting
what I
stuff,
should
puzzle-wise.
do to get out. Don't stray too far, please.
Anyway, we're here in this box world. Don't stray too far, please.
Follow my voice.
And they're both attempting to take the lead. Doesn't really matter which one leads then. Just sort of exploring the space. Meantime, while we can. There she is. Okay, nothing back here.
Trust me. We leave the fear outside. You can't get to us here. I'll find the exit. I believe in this. Trust me.
Yeah, they are just speaking in synchrony now. Okay, what does this do? Projects both boxes because of the 2 lights coming in from either direction. Oh yeah, I thought I wasn't going to make that. Interestingly enough, you can move from side to side if you want to do anything like that. That might be important in the long run. Especially if you want to project things upward along that diagonal. Whoops, no, hang on. Seeing where I could position this. Yeah, that makes it smaller. I think I can probably just make that jump. Then we need to move everything over in order for me to make the next one. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Let's just head on down.
There's no threat. No one is looking. Nothing is burning. Everything here is a stage. So we just need to act our way out.
Okay. We can have a bit of a theatrical finale. Once again, we'll need to
I'll try hard.
cast more of a shadow here to make that interactable. And the way we do it is by using this box in front of those lights. Okay, it looks like that might be a timed switch, which indicates to me that if I'm able to get over to the other side to move that block such that this switches easier to manipulate closer to the right side. And we're in good shape. The way we would do it is by flipping the switch. No, that's just a counterweight. That's okay, let's just go around. Okay, can't actually go around. Well, in that case, let's see what we can do with this. Just watching. Yeah, ideally, I'd be able to go around to move that block. Currently don't really see a way to traverse that, though. Well, let's see if there's anything else I can interact with first before we lead to any conclusions. Yeah, because ideally I'd be able to push that block on the other side. Don't see a good way to do it though, not yet. Unless that affects anything over here. Okay, that doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, it's the only thing we can really interact with so far. I'm not going to make it, no. Didn't think so. Doesn't really look like that block is movable though, so that indicates to me that we'll shade that this way. Yeah, just taking a look carefully to see if we might have missed some other idea here. Apparently I just don't see anything else to interact with yet, though. This block over here, I wonder if there was another series of lights. It's kind of like a dual lighting setup already, though, with the lights on that vehicle. I wonder if I could have done something different here to create a pathway, but it seems not. I think maybe the idea is that I hit this, then I move this. That doesn't seem to accomplish anything. There's no shadow stacking logic to work with here. Well, this is the only thing I can do on this side, so... And maybe it is just a run. Really seems unusual, though. I love how there is a very specific cue for that if you try that. I feel like I can push myself. Like, I can probably push myself really quickly instead of running. So, for example, I walk over here and then I just push like that.
Hard enough?
You are.
So it's just a matter of speed. It was an interesting solution, actually.
As long as you follow, we will be okay. We'll play this right. You can trust me.
Okay. Back to this symbiotic relationship. And they've become very cooperative with time. notice that this could potentially have a gravity effect, depending on how I flip things around. I think I would need to open up some panel, though. Yeah, you do need to do some kind of gravity change. And we'll see what that's going to be. So, step on that. Do need to face head pointing left.
You're doing great. Let me do the work. I will.
There's quite a lot you can do with this track, actually. One of the things you can do, in fact, is flip this and then lower this such that you only have a 90-degree turn here. Okay, 90-degree turn. I should step on this next. And just fall... no, I should be able to. Seems like a fairly precise falling pattern, though. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if I like that. I feel like I need to use the box to create another safety platform first. But I can't do it while I'm standing here, because... yeah. That would manipulate that a little too far, so... However, because I'm standing there, I can actually probably jam the box on the other side, shadow-wise, by going parallel, like this. No, that's not what I had in mind. Or just fall off. Let's see here. Yeah, because ideally I'd get myself straightened up, then move the box over here, such that I have a surface to fall into that would allow me to make the next fall safely. So let's jam this once again. I think this has to be the way. Seems a little bit unusual, though, that I wouldn't have a place to stand. And I can try this again. I feel like it's within the bounds of what the game might ask me to do, but also feels awkward enough that it's not the solution. Let's walk around a bit more to see if there's anything else that I can interact with, anything else to push or change in terms of lighting. Don't think so. I do want to check this area, of course, just in case it is anything. This will eventually be important, I'm sure, once we light everything up. Either that, or we do something different here with the falling pattern. So yeah, if I push the block, the switch is going to flip upwards. So the question is, can I do like a partial push and jump on top of that? No. Or find some other way to jam it. Or switch orientations on the way down. No, you can't actually move until the swap is complete. What I can do, though, is... whoops. Just scout ahead here to see if there's something I can do with that curve. That might be it, actually. That I actually want to get... I want my head to be pointing to the right side. I want to flip that way, because then I can be raised by the box towards the right, and then jump over to the top segment and curve around it, and then fall in after that. Yeah, previously I didn't see the top of that curve there, so that's what it was missing. That actually makes this fairly straightforward, because then all I need to do is do that sort of half segment here again. But while I'm standing on the other side, so the way I'd do it is I'd flip over. Move the box. Flip over again. Currently still on the wrong side though. Yeah, no. Here's what I want to do. Jump on a box. Flip this, move the box closer. Get on the top side over here. Then flip this.
Stay focused.
Lower. And then now I can push myself up with the box. Nope, wrong way. No, that's fine, actually, I'm on the surface. And then I want to drag towards me like this. And then I want to push in, such that I'm still holding the switch.
Stay alert.
And then I fall in. Okay, next section.
Trust me. I know the exit is near. It's what we've been looking for.
Okay, so they've decided to assure each other that they're mutually deserving of trust for the time being. Let's see what we can do. Okay, immediate objective here is just to get over to that switch. It's coming up soon. Let's check this rear area to see what any of this affects. Currently there's no lamp on that side, so that's not actually doing anything silhouette-wise. I actually would assume that this lever here is going to change the lighting direction. It's probably going to illuminate this one over here and cast a shadow on this new box. So in the meantime, what we do is we just move this out of the way, shrink it, or yeah, I guess we'll see. I can never really gauge my jump height with some of this, but we'll pull up, and I'm sure it's just going to turn on that light. Yep. Now, since it's turning on that light, now we can think about doing the double overlap in order to create shadows. Like getting on this little sliver over here. On the left side. Then we'll push that other box as well. We'll overlap the boxes. And indeed, acting seems to come pretty easy. Okay, before we jump down, let's scan ahead to see what we're dealing with. Oh, look, there's the tree again. No swing on it right now, but I'm sure once the props are all arranged, that's going to be properly finished.
Do you feel safer now? I'm trying my hardest for you. Let's go step by step. I won't leave you alone.
Okay, so next, let's see what's up here. Okay, we have moving lights now. Moving lights are going to create some shadow platforming. And it won't beat you if you don't need me. Never tell what some of these things are referring to, but general sense of despair, I guess.
know what this is.
It's a
Whoops.
I know what this is.
Yeah, we'll just watch
It's a
the
trial. It won't
two
be
overlapping layers
Try.
of shadows
It won't
from the moving lights. Just need to watch it carefully. This is not difficult to read once you understand what to keep your eyes on. Okay. Next. All these curved surfaces always do make me wonder if we
Now
can
that
flip
I
around
see
somehow.
How everything works. I think
Considering that we
there's
haven't
nothing to
really collected anything optional lately. There is a puzzle piece, just as I was saying. Okay, so here's another incinerator that will allow me to do some kind of block reset. What is even raising and lowering that? That is just some kind of moving light. Okay, right now we have a double projection. Or, okay, no, this is being projected to the right, this is projected to the left. Eventually we'll be able to move this in such a way that creates an overlap. We also need to take a look at the respawn locations for the crates. Looks like these may be the starting locations. It's important to know because if we incinerate this, I should be able to stand here and get raised.
Fear is nowhere.
Okay, I did manage to obtain that. I don't know if I can press this switch myself here, though. I don't think I can, actually. I can only do it by silhouette. Okay, timed elements over to the right. We'll see what that's all about later. Currently, as you can see, that is a switch that's been not quite doubled up yet. Let's tuck this over and... actually, no, I need to raise this on top of the other platform. So the way we do that is we'll push this in, burn it, and that should get this up to the upper level, which means that we can then pull it close to the light source, overlap. There we go. Going to check the back here before we do anything else. There we go. Whoops, timed segment. Let's do it again. Let's also switch back to 3D world, just to see. I mean, I feel like I do need to get both characters across during this segment here. Which means we should prioritize the 3D character since she does not have access to the switching mechanism, so. Then the shadow follows across.
However hard this is, we won't stay inside.
Looks like they have got a common purpose here, being reassured that the exit exists. Oh, grand piano. Not in the best shape, perhaps. The way that it's being haphazardly lowered. So it looks like we are setting up as some kind of stage. And we're totally going to raise a curtain for a final performance. Okay, lights. And there is the stagehand. Everyone is watching. Looks like he should have rehearsed that a little better. Cute friend, good toy. Ah, okay, so you can drop into this pool of light here, and then what does the A button do? Let's find out. That's new. Oh, that's new.
I can do this. I can act.
Ah, okay, so you're controlling the puppet. Act on your own. I wonder if I have to avoid light, though, because I'm the shadow character. I do not have to avoid light. Can I switch back? No, I can't. So now the shadow has escaped the shadow realm and entered a 3D space by controlling the puppet. And then now I can swap back.
And now, one last callback.
Okay.
Well, you've come a long way. Don't you think you're ready?
The final act. Right, so train is coming. We do have an optional collectible, so let's figure this out while I control myself over here. Don't know what the control mechanism is for that yet. Yeah, it looks like I am able to control the puppet as well. I don't know if I'm able to just drop in and out anywhere I like. Yes, I can.
Take your time. Step by step. We do not need to rush
However,
this.
if I drop the toy, the puppet, then I have to reclaim it from the original location. I can't just keep it this way. But it does allow me to traverse pretty flexibly. Because I can go in light and shadow anywhere I like.
I'll fix this.
Which means I can explore this whole
It
space and see
Feel my might. I can make this work.
if there is anything else I can collect. This might just work. I would need to drop into that location. Let's also see what this switch is going to do for me. Alright, that creates a bit of a shadow bridge for me to stand on, and also now we have locations that we can enter together. Next,
What do we do when the lights grow dark?
we play video games.
We grow taller.
Where do we go when the shadows grow?
We go further.
How do we wake up from bad dreams?
We dream harder.
Why do we stay here when we could just...
Leave.
Okay, let's see where I am over here. I am a little bit stuck over here. That's okay because I can traverse anywhere using the puppet. The shadow controlling the puppet. Yeah, let's possess. Walk very awkwardly over to this boat that
Breathe.
is rather similar to the boats we've been playing with all along. Okay, so I'm able to walk across. I don't know if this is really very cooperative so far, though. I think my 3D self is just still very trapped. Okay, grab this guy. The audience looks a little bit bored. Half the seats are empty. I It just says very good. Okay, I guess we can't do that. We have to head all the way back, probably. Unless we just sort of fall into this little lip on the side and jump across. Yeah, that's how do we do it. That allows me to platform over and grab a robot once more. Now I am a little jammed up here. I guess I should have walked across that area before trying something like this, but yeah, because we do need to protect this zone once again. Oh, I can just move the boat across, in fact, because the boat's going to sail back. But I do need to switch and follow the shadow. Oh, I accidentally dropped on top of the darkness. Okay, that's why I can't do that. There we go. Okay, that solves that. Next.
She was afraid of the sun. She was afraid of judgment.
Others will always be watching. I act. They watch. Let's give them a reason to watch.
Okay. Looks like we need to raise my position up high in order to get the crane over there. Let's see where we can go here. We should eventually create some kind of bridge by raising some tiles. And that goes for that back segment as well. That will eventually take us over to that puzzle piece. I should have explored this a little bit further first. Let's just take a look at our eventual destination. So can I press switches as this guy? Yes, I can. It also lowers the crane. Look at that. Which is important because it means that if I just put my 3D self on top of this crate, I can eventually move it into a position where I can grab the crane that way. Alternatively, if my shadow self, sorry, if my 3D self hits this while the puppet is standing on top of the block, then you should also be able to do that. Right now I don't have a lot of mobility over there in the shadow, so let's see if we can move this block, obstruct some light. Yeah, right now it's lit up somewhat. Don't know if there's a way to cast a bit of a longer shadow here. Feels like we do need multiple blocks for this, although... actually no, that's fine because all of this is in shadow. So we'll just do a bit of an escort here.
I can persist. Can you?
And then we'll move over here. Pretty simple. And then let's see what location we're using to lower that guy 2 squares over. Okay. Let's see if my depth perception is a total disaster here.
Try to let go.
Okay, got it. And then we drop on top of this. Next scene.
You were afraid of the fire. You were afraid it would fade out.
I will be the flame. I won't flicker anymore. I will look inside, and I won't mind what I see.
I was expecting one of the other
I know what we need to get out.
incineration
I think
interactions
you know
here.
it too.
Well, I mean, we do have a big flame in the middle. Block affects what? Ah, the block lights set on fire. Okay, great. Shut off the fire, and the new block does or does not come back out. Okay, no, that just incinerates that. Alright, let's see if we can hit the other switch and see what goes on there. Seems like there has been a collectible in every single one of these segments so far, so if we keep up to that pattern, we should be able to explore every scene and find something.
I need the fire within.
I'm guessing that this burns the other crates. Now, why would we want to do that? Because that reveals that location over to the left, which means that I want to cast a shadow over this location, because then my shadow, sorry, my 3D self can sit on the switch and my shadow self can get that. Alright, that's fine. Can we move any of this? Whoops. Nope. Wrong button. Okay, that's going to cast a shadow. That's fine. Because that means I can potentially do something? No. Can't really push or pull anything here. Well, I was hoping to create a longer shadow, possibly by dispensing more crates there. But if I step off this, fire comes back out, right? Because right now I don't see how to manipulate any of the crates. However, what I can do is use this interaction to transport myself over. And that trivially gets me over. But that's a bit of a problem because I don't want to finish this yet. I want to figure out how to block this. Okay, two things of fire over here. We'll see about this. I wonder... Yeah, that lights that up. I wonder if the other switch lights that up as well. It does not. So the question right now is there a way to interact with boxes in such a way that casts a shadow on top of this location here, or moves some kind of object on top of that? So I don't currently see a good way to do that, given that the crates themselves can't actually be manipulated in any meaningful fashion, so... I wonder if it would have been something that required me to not burn that crate at the very start. Like if it were somehow movable in some other way. can't really push from that side. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, because I burnt that initially, but it doesn't really do anything else for me. I'm also looking for places where I could choose to drop as the shadow. But I don't think the shadow is actually useful for anything right now. So yeah, you reveal that location. What can I interact with? Get fire over there. And get off both switches. Kind of tempted to do a full rewind over to the beginning of this segment just to see if that initial flame would have been relevant. This is a very easy one to retrace, so... Let's just see the very beginning of this. I'm actually kind of impressed the rewind goes this far back. Probably to the beginning of the scene. Okay, so let's get back to the initial box. You have the initial box. Then, oh, you actually do need to burn the initial box, because otherwise you don't have access to the puppet to begin with. So never mind, we actually must burn it. So I'm missing something else instead then. Guessing
I need the fire within.
that the fire is going to be deadly for my shadow self. It's going to probably act like spikes. Yep, thought so. Just checking. I mean, maybe there's a phase 2 here that's revealed by both characters stepping on the exit circles, but the problem is that so far the exit circles have had a precedent of just transporting me immediately to the next scene. So I'm reluctant to do that. I don't really want to step on them. All the possibility still remains that I can grab the optional collectible instead. Well, let's see here, because I think that one thing I could do is, well, explore a bit more first of all, but just trying to think about how could we possibly dump a shadow on top of the switch here. That has to be the way to do it, because you must be a shadow in order to walk over to that next switch over there. Maybe something to do with the point at which the claws start coming down. I could always try the exit circle, but that does not seem intuitive to me. Because it really feels like it'll just drop the curtain and move forward. I'm looking at different locations where in the light I'm able to just drop out of the puppet form. to see if anything happens, and I don't see a good location for that. You know what I could do? I know what to do. You drop the puppet on top of the switch. The puppet head is going to weigh it down.
I think you've always known.
No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. Okay.
You were afraid of thunder.
I forgot I was
You
standing
were
on a
afraid
circle.
of the nightlight.
Can I reset through that?
You didn't trust anyone to guide you.
I'm sorry for not being
Hold to
better at
restart
this.
from the last checkpoint. What was the last checkpoint?
For not
I guess
being
this is the
better at
checkpoint.
listening.
Okay. Wait a minute. No, no, no. Can I... Oh, shoot. No, don't tell me we
You were
started from
afraid
the
of thunder.
start.
You were afraid of the nightlight. You didn't trust anyone to guide.
Hang on. We need to look at this. Backstage. Previous scene. Let's see if we can move back. Fire. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you can go scene by scene. Good.
You were afraid of the fire.
I haven't done that all game
You
in
were
terms of
afraid
just
it would
resetting
fade
through
out.
something we'd already
I
passed,
will
but
be the flame.
we had the solution,
It
and so
won't
I
flicker anymore.
really don't want to
I
just...
will look inside and I won't
skip it for no
mind
reason.
what I see. I know what we need to get out. I think you know it too.
I probably should have taken a look at what we missed as well, but that's okay. We can look at it afterwards. I didn't actually pay attention to how many collectibles we were behind. No, that was a really satisfying solution. It's very important that we actually see this through, because it's the first time I've seen this use of the mechanic of thinking about the puppet head that you drop
I need
as something
fire
that
within.
is suddenly relevant. Yeah, I really don't like how the exit circle is just in your way, though, if you choose to go for the optional collectible at the very end. Totally got caught by surprise there. Okay,
I think you've always known.
much better. That's some closure. And yeah, in general, we're missing a few pieces, but oh well.
You were afraid of the nightlight. You didn't trust anyone to guide you.
I'm sorry for not being better at listening.
Okay, now for these
I don't mind. You're doing great now.
AA batteries. Let's see what switches do. Switches sway to lamps. That's fine. That means I can get myself across eventually. Whoops. I wonder if I can actually have time to dash across. I actually do have time to dash across. Which is interesting. I would not have expected that necessarily. Because we have a lot of freedom of movement here then. Just looking around some more, just to see if there's anything else interesting going on with moving the lights into different positions. Alright, let's ascend into the puppet form. And let's take care of a chat issue very quickly. Now, let's see. Nothing's got past that filter in a while. That was a curious lapse. Alright, so I can stand on top of the switch because I don't know what it does yet. It does cover me here. And we understand this interaction, in fact, because that's going to be an interaction where we would want to drop the puppet head on top of the switch. I think. Now, we haven't yet revealed where the collectible is in the scene, but we have it. So yeah, what was previously optional in the other scene now becomes required here, I think, in that The other thing we can do is drop the puppet head on top of this switch
I can close the distance
and
now.
have my
I don't need
other
any
self
more.
step on this switch.
I might still need some advice, though.
And that... Oh, whoops. No, hang on. Can't actually do that while you're in the light. Let's rethink this.
I don't need
Into
any
darkness,
more
rather.
I might still need some advice, though.
Okay, no. You should definitely just drop this out. But if I drop this out, am I able to platform all the way back? Because I'd have to loop all the way back around. And as the shadow form, kind of run all the way around again. I don't think that's going to be it. I think that we need to think about how to manipulate these platforms a little bit differently. Like something will have to step on that switch at the end. But I think I need to use myself here to step on top of this once I have already dropped the puppet head, and use that to raise my shadow form up to its location. And then I sneak across in my 3D form. So yeah, here's what we do. We go shadow here, we raise it, and then we go to cross. Next scene.
So glad you were able to get there.
I can do this on my own now.
Yes, you can.
I just need to bridge the gap. The gap between us and them. The gap between you and me.
Okay. Still only had the vaguest idea of what they're going for there, but we'll get on top of this first. I wonder if in the puppet form I can collect the regular 3D crane. I don't think so. That would seem too trivial, wouldn't it? No, too trivial. So we do need to get the shadow self over here and over to that tip. Let's see what the switches do. Moves to spotlight.
Time will pass.
Okay,
I will grow.
that's important. Where am I? There we go. So we will see what's going on with the spotlight. See if only that spotlight moves. Okay. What we can do is figure out where I'm permitted to move here. Looks like not much can be done there, but if we walk around and do I get across here? I don't know what this little knob is. I see the spotlight, I see this switch here. Oh, this is the eye switch. It's just on the floor, so I didn't recognize it for what it was. So yeah, let's obstruct this guy. Nope, gravity is going to match the gravity in my initial spawning location. That's actually a really important thing to notice for later. Okay. That's fine. Now we get myself in 3D form over to the collectible puzzle piece. Same idea. says the member of the audience. Well, how else? Okay, so now we need to figure out how to drop myself. So, because of the illumination here, I'm able to drop the puppet on the switch. And let's not do that. I am, however, able to jump forward a little bit. Here we go, next act.
Do you remember why you came here?
5 pieces missing. I
You were
think
lost.
it's probably just maybe
You were
one accounted
afraid.
for in this zone.
Now,
Oh,
you're
here's the
strong.
dragon.
You can end
And
this.
here's the exit. So it might be the finale here. Okay. So, naturally, we will do the usual thing and search for the optional piece. If we can find it, looks like there will be some potential gravity mechanics available. But let's explore and we'll see
I
whether
will
we're
look like them, act like them.
dealing
become
with... here's it. So is the Shadow just planning to escape to the 3D world permanently using a sufficiently acted puppet? Is that the idea we're going for here? Okay, so that raises that lamp, allows me to get across to... what location? Feels like I need to create some kind of safety platform such that I can block that eye. But we can also... no, I don't have sufficient control over the puppet to manipulate the switch. To manipulate the switch, I have to be in 3D form. That's an important new piece of information. I feel like we can just get across here. No, we can't. Not quite. However, if I get off the switch, then the Shadow is able to take me nowhere because of the spotlights. So let's see where I can actually realistically drop. So I think I know what I have to do here. I need to possess the puppet with a different entry point in terms of gravity. So for example, let's say I drop. Then I jump like this, and then I possess the puppet, whoops, this way. Because then I can think about obstructing something like this by dropping out here.
As you see
Blocking.
yourself, so will others see you. And this is fine. You're almost there.
Then, having obtained that blocking piece, we now can think about how to transport myself a little further. I actually think that it's going to require some additional rotation on my part here, using some of these curved surfaces, so... for the time being, though, let's just repossess this guy. And think about how to raise myself up here. Follow up. Hit the switch. Oh, okay. That's new. Once again, I don't have arms to work with, so I will need to... Whoa! Let's not walk off just yet. Probably just manipulate this. And eventually push it to create a bridge. Not enough of one yet, though. Yeah, because I want to create a way to go all the way up. I can probably do that by shadowing this area here. Also, don't quite remember what I was able to do with the shadows with this guy here. It's kind of important, actually. Let's maybe pull this back first. Drop this. Block this. And now we move this all the way across. Okay, how come it's not letting me push further? Let's... Okay. Can't push here, apparently. No. The question is, am I able to make some shadow connect this way now? Trying to think about whether I need to connect it on this side or on the other side. It seems like I'm kind of a tile short either way. And that would require some further manipulation elsewhere. Let's not drop that just yet. Let's... think about this. Supposing I cast that shadow. Yeah, I just don't see how I can reach far enough with the crate. It's not going to be the crate by itself. It might have to be the crate plus some object, or... Well, I mean, we could try to get back over here again and toggle that switch one more time, see if it does anything interesting. I may also be thinking about the shadows totally wrong. Oh, interesting. I can drag my shadow this way. Yeah, I think what I can do is... nope, not like that. Let's actually just reset this. This is going to be practically starting from scratch, but we'll move the crates. And, oh, this might be interesting, actually. Actually, no, I know what to do. You use the crate to block the eye. That's what it's for. That's how you do it. seems very resistant to this, though. Don't know why. Okay. No, let's figure out how to get that back there. Yeah, by not dragging my shadow form. Yeah, there are some strange half-tile interactions sometimes that are a little bit difficult to track in terms of where the boundaries are. Okay, we've got a crate there now. Great. Because it means that I'm able to repossess this guy. And that totally creates a passage for me on the right side. There we go.
Yes. Keep trying.
Okay, so now that gives me enough to work with to get over to the final exit, or what looks like the final exit. Just drop here. I should be facing in the right direction gravity-wise.
I need to do this.
94
Never,
out of 98.
If not now.
Let's see if this is in fact the ending. It probably is, I think. So, are we merging? Or what's going on? Or will I be uncontrollably bathed in light? Let's watch. And then now I possess, right? It's gotta be it. And once more I am whole. Oh, I love how the world is now tinted in color. I sort of thought that it would end with this swing. I don't think I really thought about how the scene would actually play out, but I do like it. The way that they've kind of moved on from that particular attachment. But anyway, that's a Shady Part of Me with 94 out of 98 puzzle pieces complete. And thank you for the GG. I don't think I'll be able to stay long enough today to actually do 100% cleanup on stream. It might be something I do offline. But I'll think about it because we're reasonably close, and it's just that I'd have to comb through some of the larger chapters, scene by scene, to see what exactly it was I was lacking. But yeah, let's just watch the credits. Reflect on the experience. Yeah, still thinking about what's going on here narratively. I mean, we kind of knew all along that the thing that was the experience that the 3D self had to go through was just finding some way to cope with exposure to the light in a way that therapy was unable to resolve. And with the shadow self trying to escape into a corporeal form all this time, I guess they did find this working compromise, this reunion of the self. But yeah, very nice touch to have the world just in color, but still in a muted way that is reflective of the tinting that you would have seen throughout the game. But yeah, bit of a journey out of the monochrome world of separation from one's own shadow. English main female voiced by Hannah Murray. I wonder... yeah, I guess she would be playing both parts, and one of them would just be... well, I mean, both of them would be voice acted. But I don't know how much post-production on that would have happened to make the childlike voice of the 3D self come together. Yeah, because there are, as you can see, 2 cast members in each of the localizations, which I guess would have also made it very affordable here to actually cast voice actors for each of those versions, each of those languages. Anyway, very nice of the Nintendo Online Service to kind of interrupt the sequence and just tell me about the update. At least it's not in the middle of the cutscene at the end, I guess. So yeah, I don't know if this was actually the first release from the studio, Deuce DCM, from France. I think it might have been. Yeah, thanks Nintendo. I mean, I guess there's an implication there that Nintendo might have updated the library for the online service. And I wonder if it was the case. Look at that credit. Thanks to all who worked in the shadows and might have been forgotten. And that's the end. So I'll stay long enough to just look at our completion cards and jigsaw puzzles and see how far off we were and where exactly we should be looking. And so yeah, as you can see, there is not really any kind of main menu in this game. It just throws you right into the experience and right back out. And so you can see, yeah, exposition, we had a complete puzzle here, complete image, and the jigsaw comes together and just reveals the picture. Here we're missing one piece. Here missing one piece, as we knew before. Here missing 2 pieces with the dragon battle in the theater. I wonder if these jigsaw pieces are actually in sequence, and whether going into the acts themselves will actually reveal it. Yeah, it says 9 out of 10 in this sequence, so we'd have to scroll through all of this to look for it. And yeah, the animation... oh, I see. I think I'm looking at the animation to see if there's any clue here as to whether you should be looking in the light or dark world, but no, I think it's just a continual loop of the rain unfolding into the jigsaw piece. So we were missing that one piece there. We were missing one piece somewhere here. And I got a lot more puzzle pieces than you got. Okay, I didn't know how completely you played this, so I guess some of the puzzle solutions would have been new to you. Act 3, we were missing something at the very start. Yeah, here's the thing, that's because of the information we're given, especially for that 28 out of 29 one, you'd have to replay an entire section to really search. So that's going to require a separate section entirely. And so, yeah, as I was thinking when I was here in the circus, absolutely nothing to collect in the circus. As thematically, that was just part of your memories. And in the theater, we got everything, which is great. So, that is it for Shady Part of Me. And fortunately, we don't really have any kind of outro music to give you here, unless we just decide to load up the start. Actually, let's do that, just to have a bit of outro music. Just to look at a swing again at the very start. And yeah, so that took maybe about 7 hours total, I think, between the two sittings, which is about on par with what I expected. Some of the longer puzzle pieces taking up a bit of the time in terms of padding things out a bit. We will be back later this week with probably one more indie game stream, likely on the Thursday to Friday session, followed by viewer levels going into the weekend. So just 2 games left at this point, just Genesis Noir and A Short Hike, so we'll pick one of them this week and probably do the other one next week. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me all this time. Hope you enjoyed the playthrough and the footage, and thank you especially for pointing out the sound problems near the beginning, because with some of the audio still going, I actually couldn't quite tell on my end. Once more, until next time, thanks for joining me here. Have a good morning and the rest of your day, or whatever else is going on. And fare thee well.